Hi everybody, this is Rick in the studio. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Rick Surowicz Watercolor. At any time, if you wish to subscribe to my channel, you can click on the link that appears in the lower right hand corner. I'll be doing a holiday card series again this year. This will be the 5th year in a row that I've done this. This will be my 2024 holiday card series. And with each card that I do, there'll be a short video, access to a template, and also a reference photo of the card. These are all intended to be very simple cards that you can paint on your own. And to access the links for the reference material, the template, and the video, just click on the link that appears in the video description. So I hope you have a happy holiday, and I hope you enjoy painting these cards. Okay, we're ready to begin this holiday card. This is a simple scene with a snowman and a tree and some snowdrifts. And then we have a kind of a big sky area here that I'm going to make a snowy sky. Trying to keep this pretty simple as I do with all my cards. And this is the template. If you click on the link in the description of the video, it'll take you to the website, my website, where I have the links to all these templates and reference materials. So you can find that link in the description. So this is the template, which I've already transferred to my watercolor paper. This is set up to be 5 by 7 inches. It works with the pre-made blank cards that you can buy to paint on, or you can just cut a 5 by 7 sheet of watercolor paper. So we're going to keep this pretty simple, and I'm going to start with a dark sky. I'm using royal blue. It's a color I use a lot, and you could use kind of a blue tint Payne's gray if you have one, or an indigo, or Delft blue, or whatever you really have that you want to work with. This is a fairly dark pigment. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting a wash down here. And you want to make sure, let's get that big enough. Make sure that you have enough moisture. I'm working at an angle, and I'm loading that brush. I want to keep a bead on a leading edge here. I could use a little bigger brush, but we'll get there quick enough. I'm gonna come down here. Again, I want to keep that bead on the leading edge here. Could use a finer point brush on this, but I think we'll make it through. Okay, so I have a little bit of excess there. I'm gonna pick up with my brush, take some of the moisture out, and then just pick up any excess from the bead that's there. If I want to sharpen this, I could get a smaller brush. I think that's okay. So now I'm going to put a wash on this side. This is just a flat wash. You could make it graded. I'm going to put some texture in this, though. I want it to be like a snowy night. Okay. So now, it's still fairly wet here. It's getting damp here. What I want to do is I'm going to spritz some water into this, and let's get this. It'll create the kind of the feeling of snow. This is still a little wet over here, but I'm going to go ahead and spritz a little bit of water into this. If it's too wet, it'll just dissolve into the wash that you put down, and it won't give you that texture. So there, trying to create a feeling of a snowy night. Still a little wet here. I'm going to let that dry for just a minute. And while I do, I'm going to take, gotta be careful here because I got a wet edge. I think I'll start here. Put a little bit of a wash here in the snow. And a little bit here. I even leave this somewhat of a hard edge. And I'm going to bring this down all the way to here. Let's make that all dark. Okay, now I'm going to spritz some water up in here. Just so I got a little bit hard there. Just so I can repeat the texture that I got. And now I'm ready to give this a dry. And then I'll do some more shading on the snowman. And paint the tree and some of the trim stuff. So let me give this a dry. Okay. So I'm working with this royal blue. I'm going to go ahead and shade my snowman a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take some clear water. I'm going to soften the edge that I just put down. A little bit more. Take some of that off. So there's some shading on that. And I'm going to dry that, but before I do, I can go ahead. I'm going to paint in the Christmas tree. This is just some sap green. Paint around these Christmas bulbs. You can paint these first if you wanted, just to make sure you got them in there. I want to try and keep my edges clean and not all jagged. Oops, hit that with my hand. Let's take a little bit of that off. Just a little bit more. Just a little gradation going on. Okay. And I'm going to spritz that just a little bit. I don't do a lot, but I'm just going to touch that with a tissue. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give that a dry. Okay, so let's get I'm going to take some, this is Halloween orange. You can mix an orange however you want to get there. If you have a cadmium orange or something. Just going to paint the nose on my snowman. And then I'm going to take, this is quinacridone and coral. You can, this is pyro red here. You can just use a bright red, it doesn't matter really what you're using. Just something, it doesn't even have to be red. And those are very heavy, very opaque. I'm just gonna blot that with a tissue. Fold it over and do that again. There we are. And just a touch of red. Just a little. Okay, now I'm going to paint the band on the hat. And then I'm going to paint this scarf with some, I don't know, some kind of a pattern. Just try and keep your, your edges clean, and it helps if you have enough loaded in your brush, so you get a nice, nice coverage when you put your brush to paper. It's not a dry brush. Kind of made this kind of like a plaid of some sort, but you could just paint it solid one color if you wanted. Just leave that on there. And now I think that's dry enough that I can go ahead and paint that hat. And this is neutral tint. You could just mix like burnt sienna and ultramarine blue or something to give you, a gray, neutral gray. I'm just using neutral tint. Could just use black if you have it. I don't generally have black on my palette. I tend to mix my neutrals. So, could go just a little darker with that neutral tint, maybe. Okay, let me give that a dry. Okay, and that's it. You could go darker or stronger or brighter if you wanted with any of these colors, but I'm just trying to keep these very simple. So when I peel off my tape, now I have my border for my card. You can see there. And it's a little easier to see if I put my hand there. So you have a nice border where you've taped your card, your paper. And that's it. So I hope you enjoy painting this holiday scene of a snowman.